You ever watch a team lose the same game it keeps practicing? That's what the Jets handed us in London. An ugly, stubborn loop of mistakes, missed reads, and play calls that begged for better execution. They lost 13-11 to the Broncos, fell to 0-6, and somehow managed to make a near-perfect defensive effort feel irrelevant because the offense never showed up. Reuters. Start with the obvious. Justin Fields was brutal. He completed 9 of 17 passes for 45 yards, was sacked 9 times, and the team posted a franchise-worst -10 net passing yards. That's not a fluke stat line. It's a system failure. When your quarterback is getting knocked down nearly once every 5 snaps, you can't actually run an offense. Protection broke. Timing evaporated. The airway for every route closed. Those aren't just numbers on a page. They're the reason the Jets couldn't generate a single sustainable drive. Yahoo Thethau. Meanwhile, the Broncos did exactly what good teams do to a sputtering attack. They schemed pressure, they rushed the passer, and they made the Jets earn every inch. Bo Nix moved the ball enough to make plays, 174 yards and a touchdown, and Denver's late drive finished with Will Lutz's 27-yard field goal that ultimately decided the game. When your opponent turns the ball over to the kicker in the waning minutes, respect that plan. Denver Broncos' Garrett Wilson got blanketed by Pat Surtain 2 and was essentially neutralized. 3 catches for 13 yards. When your alpha receiver is taken out of the game, the offense needs someone else to step up, and nothing of the sort happened. The run game went nowhere. The short passing game produced no rhythm, and even the Jets' one decent advantage, their defense, couldn't manufacture points. You can defend all night, but if you don't score, defense only delays the inevitable. Yahoo Thethau. This loss isn't one hideous play. It's a pattern. Fields holding the ball too long, protection failing, predictable play calling in crunch time, and questionable clock management, all of it stacked up into a narrative. The team hasn't healed from its offseason choices, and it's not adjusting on game day. Fans and analysts are screaming for answers, but most of those answers point right back to fundamentals. Offensive line play, quarterback decision speed, and a lack of contingency when your top receiver is off the map. And mypost.com. Aaron Glenn's seat is getting hot for a reason. A head coach is judged by how swiftly he corrects the obvious and prevents repeat errors. After 6 games, the Jets' problems look less like growing pains and more like identity failure. Should Fields be benched? Maybe. Will that fix the offensive line issues and play calling? Not necessarily. Coaching must own both the personnel and the scheme. If you're going to run a system that requires protection and timing, you either fix the line or simplify the offense. Fast, nypost.com. Let's talk specifics on the fixes, because sensational headlines don't win games. Smart work does. 1. Simplify the script. Short drops, quick reads, more RPOs, and screen passes to get the ball out fast. You give Fields fewer options, not fewer chances. The goal is to keep him upright and make the defense show its cards. 2. Rebuild protection daily. If the tackle play or line calls are breaking, then scrap whatever's not working and drill the basics. Footwork, communication, slide protection until they become reflex. Painfully boring work wins in December. 3. Redistribute targets. If Wilson's getting smothered, design quick out throws, motion routes, and run game sequences that create one-on-one chances for the other receivers. Get guys in space. Make the defense cover the whole field. 4. Be ruthless with situational decisions. That failed 2-minute sequence and later play calling showed a lack of crispness. Timeout usage, clock awareness, and fourth down math aren't optional coaching accessories. They're the job. Yahoo Thethau. The Jets' defense isn't the problem. They played well enough to win. They forced turnovers. They held Denver under control for most of the night, and they gave the offense life late. But defense can't score if your red zone plan is 2 kneelers and a directions map. Offense must do its part, and right now that unit is asking permission to be mediocre. That's not a long-term strategy. New York Jets. Now the human layer, leadership and morale. A locker room will tolerate growing pains if it sees a plan and progress. It won't tolerate repeat embarrassments. Players publicly calling out clock management or showing visible frustration on the sideline is a symptom. The team doesn't trust the fixes. Glenn needs buy-in, and buy-in comes from results. Put a structure in place, show an immediate repair in the next week, and you quiet the panic. Fail to act, and the chatter becomes a chorus demanding a roster reset. Fucko. NYPost.com. What about the timeline? The Jets face the Panthers and then the Bengals before the bye. That's not just scheduling, it's a measuring stick. 2 wins would be a miracle. 1 win and a bye could be a reset. 0 wins, and you're staring at a lost season. The Bronco game should be the alarm clock. It's the long, loud ring that forces either change or resignation. The front office and coaching staff have choices: simplify and stabilize, or double down on the same approach and hope talent solves structural failures. Hope is not a strategy. ESPN.com final point. Don't get cute with instant reactions. Benchings, fire drills, and social media pile-ons are cathartic but rarely constructive. The Jets need measured brutality, honest evaluation, hard practices, and transparent accountability. If Fields is part of the long-term plan, then protect him and game manage him until you can see growth. If the organization decides he's not the answer, then do the hard thing early and start building a real plan. Either way, clarity beats chaos. NYPost.com. Bottom line, this was an ugly, avoidable loss. Denver executed a simple game plan, and New York's offense folded like a bad hand at the worst possible time. The Jets aren't broken beyond repair, but they are broken enough that time and patience are running out. If you're a Jets fan, don't expect miracles. Expect hard work, accountability, and immediate edits. The rest is noise. Reuters. If you want this turned into a tight 60 and 90-second video hook with 3 punchy visuals and a CTA, say short clip. If you want a full 8-minute cinematic script with B-roll cues, say full script. This was a brutal, clarifying loss for a team that already wore a target on its back. The Jets' offense in London looked broken in plain sight, and the final box score said it all. A 13-11 loss to the Broncos that dropped New York to 0-6. Reuters. Start with the dominant, ugly stat line. Justin Fields was sacked 9 times, and the Jets finished with -10 net passing yards. The kind of offensive performance that isn't just bad, it's historically bad. When your net passing is negative, you didn't so much lose a game as fail to show up. Opposing pass rushers owned the day. CBS Sports. Why did it collapse? A lot of answers tie back to fundamentals. Protection broke down repeatedly. Denver's pressure was coordinated and relentless, and Fields held the ball too long in multiple sequences, creating sack opportunities and killing any chance of consistent rhythm. When your QB is taking 9 sacks, the problems are both schematic, line play, pre-snap calls, and processing, timing, decisiveness. ESPN.com, Fiend. The receiving corps couldn't help. Garrett Wilson was blanketed by Patrick Surtain too, finishing with just 3 catches for 13 yards, which removed the offense's primary vertical threat and forced conservative, short area play calling. With the run game contained under 3 yards per carry for both teams, the Jets had no reliable way to move the chains. That's a recipe for stalling in hostile spots. CBS Sports coach Aaron Glenn's stewardship is now under the microscope. Tactical miscues, questionable clock management, and late-game decision-making compounded the on-field issues. In the final 2-minute sequence, a sack and an off-target pass left the Jets facing a 4th and long decision. Glenn chose to go for it, and the offense failed to convert. At 0-6, patience from the fan base is evaporating, and ownership will soon have to weigh whether continuity or change gives the franchise the best chance to recover. New York Post. This isn't just one bad day, it's the crest of a larger trend. The Jets have looked inconsistent all season. Spurts of competitive football ruined by self-inflicted wounds. Turnovers, penalty lapses, protection breakdowns, and a QB who's alternately brilliant and mistake-prone make for a fragile roster. The London trip exposed the fragility in the most public way. International stages magnify weaknesses, and the Broncos exploited every one. SI. What happens next matters more than the headline. The schedule gives the Jets a relatively favorable stretch, Carolina at home and Cincinnati on the road, but if the offense